angelic ladies up here that have it going on and are full of wisdom and advice and counsel when it comes to relationships, both with the opposite sex and with their Heavenly Father. And we're grateful that they have come and brought their Bibles to be able to sing hymns and open us up in prayer and to be able to share the goodness of the Lord. Until we found out from one of them that she had done some dirty deeds. Some dirty deeds. She was pregnant out of wedlock. But you know what? God does forgive, and we forgive her now, umpteen years later. But she is single, and she's looking for a mate. Or the mate is looking for her. And we have put out turned on the phone lines, 877-342-7770. To the far right, the one with the pretty smile and the good teeth. Are those all your teeth?
They are.
Chomp, do like this. Okay, she got all her teeth, and they're pretty. Nice hairstyle, beautiful earrings, nice glow to her skin as well. Are you with child currently?
No.
Okay. She's not with child currently, so that's a good thing, because sometimes
spiritually.
men like to know these things, in advance. But before we went to break, you said you don't date. So what you do? Do you just jump in the sack or what? What you do?
To me, I would say courting because, for me as a Christian,
what's the difference?
You don't date to be dating. What's the difference between
courting and dating?
My goal is marriage.
Exactly. You can date somebody for the purposes of marriage.
Okay, well,
so we're talking semantics.
Okay, we'll just say courtship. We'll play on words.
If you want to be old about it. Young folks say date. But it's still the same thing
if
they apply the same definition. Because you should only date for the purposes of marriage.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So you're trying to figure out whether or not he or she is the one.
That's right. Mm-hmm.
And as your daughter would say, throw them back in the pond and go fish
Find another fish.
To make sure that they are the real deal.
That was good. That was good. That was real good.
And what's your story?
Oh my. What's my story?
Yeah.
My story?
You was who again? What's your name?
Michelle.
You Michelle. And you, Mom, is your name is?
Erma.
You're Erma. And you are?
Unique.
And that you are? Beautiful.
Lisa.
And Lisa. And that meant what?
God's promise.
Very good. That's wonderful. Okay. Now back to you. Just wanted to let people know who we were talking to.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And your story is?
My story is I've been married several times.
Several means 5.
No, not that many.
So not
times.
several.
No.
Few times means
A few.
3.
Okay,
Some means 4. Couple means 2. Just want to make sure you get the definitions right. Don't want nobody call you a hoe or nothing.
Okay. They probably have, but it's okay.
It's not what they call you, it's what you answer to.
Exactly.
Praise the Lord.
I didn't answer.
Okay.
Few.
A few. 3 times.
Okay, yeah.
Married 3 times.
Yes.
Married currently.
Yes.
Does he know this?
Yes.
Okay. Because sometimes, women a little cray-cray.
Oh,
and
no.
y'all be stalking men, and then you think you married to him.
Oh, no.
But yet he like, who you? Type thing, because he didn't, sign nothing. But you, in the spirit, be thinking y'all married and stuff. But he didn't get the email from Jesus.
It must not been this Michelle.
Oh, okay. All right. So I got on lifetime.
Right.
Yeah.
So this is your 3rd marriage.
Uh-huh.
What makes this one different than the previous 2?
The previous 2, I could say that I knew God, but I didn't spend the quality time with God to know who God had for me.
That's good.
Okay. So in the flesh, you saw something.
Yeah.
And you were like, that got to be mine. So you went and you got married. But God didn't necessarily co-sign on that.
Right. Looking for love in all the wrong places.
But now. It's different.
Yeah.
Because this was in the right place.
Yeah.
And God said.
Yeah. Because my heart is with God.
Okay. But it wasn't with God previously.
Not completely, no.
Okay. But now it is.
Yeah.
Do you think that's a requirement requirement in
Yes.
order for a person to be married?
Yes.
And what if a person is a sinner? They shouldn't get married.
Oh, no, that's not true.
Okay, so break it down for us. If you a sinner and you can get married, and you're with God and you can get married, so what's the difference?
You can love that person with your whole heart.
Sinner or not,
Yes.
and still be married.
Yes.
Because I think statistically,
Mm-hmm.
the ain'ts are beating the saints when it comes to marriage.
Yeah.
Told you that.
They staying married longer.
Yeah.
And the divorce rate in the
true.
church is higher
That's right.
than that outside of the church.
That's right.
So why get married? She like, good question.
Yeah, I'm like,
You
I'm
married-
waiting.
you been
You're
married
right.
How long? How long?
It'll be 5 years next
5
month.
years. It's like, you should have asked me that 6 years ago.
Yeah. Yes.
So, anybody, why?
Yeah.
Why get married? Why? If we're gonna divorce anyway, and statistically the odds are against us, and we're gonna end up hating each other anyhow, and you're gonna punch me upside the head, and I'm gonna call the police, and you're gonna be locked up, and then you're gonna blame me, and then I'm gonna throw a rock through your car, and then I'm gonna scratch up the side of your whatever, and then I'm gonna talk about your mama, and so it's that repeated pattern. So why get married? Stay single, be free, live life, love God. Not everybody's called to marriage.
Exactly.
That's right. That's right.
So let's all stay single. You got something to say, Doctor?
Hey. Well, I would say, like I said, it ain't cut out for everybody. It's just not. Because if Pookie and May gonna keep fighting all the time, somebody gonna kill one another.
That's
You got
right.
it.
Right.
So
That is true.
it's like- and you know what? But you got to understand, there ain't just Pookie's and May's outside the church.
Right.
Right.
That's
They
it.
definitely inside the church.
Inside.
Yeah.
Because what people don't understand is that the church is a hospital. So 80% of the people inside the church are cray-cray. So they know that going in. 20% are doing what they need to do, and they're trying to lead and shepherd and things of that nature, just like a regular hospital. 20% of the people are the nurses and CNAs and the doctors and the surgeons, but the 80% of the people, they the sick folk. So they coming in with their coughs and their scratches and their brokenness and everything else. Same thing in the church.
Yeah.
But people think that, oh, I go to the church is perfect. Church ain't perfect, because 80% of the people in the church ain't perfect.
That's right.
But yet you gonna go there to find you a spouse. Why? 80% of the people are cray-cray. So just by going to the church to find a spouse, that's not the litmus test. That's
No.
not,
No.
what makes that better than going to the library or going to the restaurant.
Yeah.
Because the same people in the library, same people in the restaurant, same people in the strip club, guess what? They up in the church too.
That's right.
That's so true.
So just because you found them in the church don't make them any better
It really
or
doesn't.
any holier.
It really doesn't. It really doesn't. That's so true.
But I think if you know me now, I have to say that. I have to say me
No,
now.
ma'am.
Yeah. What your purpose is, and that person knows what their purpose is, then you know why you're linking up. That's with any relationship, business or whatever. I think that's the defining thing, that you need to know what your purpose is, for, your marriage.
why.
The why.
That's
Because the
The
Bible
why.
says two are better than one.
The why.
And a three-stranded cord is not
The
easily
why.
broken.
That's
The
true.
why. Yeah, because if you don't, there are times you may not feel like you love them. What is the binding thing? What is that foundation?
Because it can't
Because
be
if you
love.
know that
Because love is fleeting.
it is, you
And
gotta
love
choose
ain't
to
gonna
love.
keep you together.
That's
exactly
Right. Because there's
You gotta be
sometimes...
stronger
to
than
love.
that.
That's right.
You got to choose to love, and that's just what I, like I say, me now. You got to know your purpose. You got to know your purpose for your marriage. What is why? And then
Because it's the why that always keeps you.
It is.
And that's in anything. Relationships,
It
business,
really is.
entrepreneurship,
That's right.
ministry, whatever it
true.
is that you're doing.
Yes.
You out preaching the gospel and whatnot, and 2 people, 3 people show up. Now, the Bible says, where 2 or 3 are gathered in my name, he'll be in the midst. However, if I'm going to be up there hooping and hollering and doing backflips and sweating, I'd like 2 or 3 people more than that just to show up.
Yeah.
Type of thing.
Yeah.
So sometimes it can be depressing. Sometimes sometimes it can be disheartening. So there has to be something that keeps you in the meanwhile, because every day ain't Sunday.
That's right. That's right.
Because Monday always comes.
That's right. That's right. And you know, and two, I'll just say this for intimacy. You were talking about the divorce rate in the church. That I read somewhere, I can't remember, it's been a while back, that I read that married couples who make love, and I'm going to equate that with intimacy, like worship, their marriages last longer. They're successful. They're successful.
Because that is the only thing that I can do with you that I can't do with somebody else.
Exactly.
That's the only and if the truth be told, that's probably the defining factor. That's really the only thing.
I agree.
I can cry with other folk. I can laugh with other folk. I can hang out with other folk. We can go to the ball game with other folk. We got best friends with other folk. So you can have friendship relationships with other people and have a good time and hang out with family and friends, but really the only thing that I can't do with them that I do with you is the intimacy part.
Because I was ministering to one of my coworkers, and you know, she was going through some stuff and everything, and I told her, I said, you know what you need to do? I said, you need to start knocking some boots.
Go ahead.
She looked at me like,
that's right.
I'm like, I'm serious. Go home. You're working too much. You in here at 8, 9 o'clock at night. Go home to your husband.
That's right.
That's right.
That's right.
I was in a relationship, marriage retreat with my bishop and First Lady, and they were ministering. And she had an opportunity to share, the First Lady. And one of the questions was, what is the secret, the one thing you can do today to keep, save, maintain, grow your marriage? What is that one thing? One piece of advice. Her response was, empty his balls. Empty his balls. Empty ball man, don't cheat.
That's it.
Don't stray.
You better say it.
Don't look. Don't anything. Because guess what?
You waste my work.
Exactly. I'm just saying. It got quiet up in
But
there. But that is the reality of it. Because if you don't do it, somebody else is willing to. But if you can take care of that, guess what? That right there is half the battle.
It is.
You combine that with communication, you good.
Yeah.
You good at that point.
Yeah.
And that's what a lot of times people don't understand.
They don't.
Yes,
You got power.
that is
And
power.
I'm telling you, I learned that. By the fall.
What'd you say?
The fall.
The fall.
I'm serious.
Lisa done learned.
But it is, you know, and then in church, you know, we got to talk about it because
It has
we
to be.
really
it's
do.
a real
It has to be
conversation.
talked about it, you know.
Because how you gonna go and worship and go in another room and worship God, and then you come back in your bedroom, you turn over and you
Or sleeping in separate bedrooms. What kind of mess
I
is
can't
that?
do that.
Come on now.
That is true.
Yeah.
That is true. Because sometimes the same level of intimacy that you have with God should be the same level of intimacy you have with your husband.
But
That's
that
exactly.
is it.
That's it right there.
Yeah.
But that is
Exactly.
it. And that goes back to the fact, okay, falling in love with Jesus. If
That's
both
right.
of them don't, then guess what? Then Jesus, he ain't in the midst of everything, you know.
That is true.
So yeah, you know. So it really is. And then also too, I want to say something about far as, you know, you hear the law of gravity, but then you also hear about the law of attraction.
Absolutely.
And I've, you know, somebody mentioned that to me recently, and then it came up again. So while I was sitting here earlier, I heard far as the law of attraction. But what happens is you was talking about the crazy in the church. But you got to understand, either way, whether it's in the church or outside the church, if crazy is in the man, crazy gonna look for crazy in the woman.
Exactly.
Whether it's
That's right.
outside the church
Same
because it's
too.
a
That's
law
right.
of attraction. Now
right.
it may be fixed up where it don't look like crazy, but when you mess up, they gonna flip the wig on you.
That's
That's
it.
right.
I would just like to say
Or the toupee.
the same people that are in the world are inside the building.
Right.
The
Absolutely.
reason I say it like that is because God's church is within inside the church. There's a full wall with pews where people sit
Ecclesia.
in, but that's not necessarily
Nope.
the true church.
That's right.
So we gotta be careful how we collectively, put a label on the church as a whole,
That's
because it's
right.
not the
It's
real
not.
church. Those are still people that came from out the world into the church.
That's right.
So you still have the world in the church,
That's right.
but it's
Absolutely.
not necessarily the true church of God.
That's right.
Exactly.
That's true. That's true because
Yes,
the
good.
ecclesia is the true church,
It is.
which is the people of God. So the
The
people,
church is on the inside of you.
the church. That's
Exactly.
right. We are the
Yeah, we
ecclesia.
are.
you
Which is
know?
why we need to be ministering not only in the church but outside
Outside
of
the
church.
church. That's
Even
right.
the more.
That's right.
Marketplace evangelism.
That's right.
Kingdom.
And that's what people don't understand.
No
It's
sugar
about the
coated in the
kingdom.
church.
Exactly.
If you sugar
It's
coated it
about
in the
the
church,
kingdom.
yeah, it's about the kingdom. Because
Right.
if you sugar coating it in the church, and you got two churches, two things of a church. You got the church as in a building, and then you got folk that ain't the church. Then it's got to be versatile.
Yes.
So when you ministering, that's where talking about stepping on some toes. You got to step on some toes. You can't help it, fingers or whatever. Maybe a tongue. But you got to do what you got to do. By the leading of the Holy Ghost.
And that is true. And it's really
help.
the truth that'll set you
It's the
free.
truth.
Yes.
And a lot of times we're so heavenly bound that we're no earthly good.
Oh,
And we
wow.
want to be high and holy and moly inside the church and inside the home. But old dude, he ain't really interested in your doily when you get into the bed. Take
Yeah.
off the church robe and everything else.
I know. Yeah.
But you want to
There are
have
freaks
that
in the
level.
church. Trust and believe that. There are freaks in the church. They're not just in the world. Some men have that cliche, that most women that do this and do that are in the world. Nope.
No.
Nope, because the worldly women got it from the church.
Come on.
If you understand anything about the book of Solomon,
Yeah, come
That's
on
right.
now. You better say it.
Absolutely.
You better say it.
Yes.
That is,
There's a
it is so
Delilah assigned to every man,
That's it.
whether or
every
not.
weak man.
weak.
No, not to every man. Now it's
To
the
every
weak.
man.
It's the weak
Exactly.
man that succumbs to.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's the strong man. It's the godly man that can resist.
Yeah, yeah.
Because that temptation is there every single day.
Yeah, that's
but
right.
you have to resist
Evil is forever.
the devil.
That's exactly right.
Tell him to flee. Command him to go. Put him under your feet. Put him in subjection so that you don't fall prey
Yeah.
to the wiles of the enemy.
Yes.
It's so true. So true. My.
Dr. Hale, any
Yes.
parting words as we end this segment?
Well, the only thing I could really say at this moment is it's been real. We keeping it real. I would say, watching or listening to this broadcast, pretty much you're gonna be like, is that really them? Is they really talking like that? Well, the truth and the right words with the truth is gonna set you free.
That's right.
Amen.
That's
Amen.
right. How can they hear you? How can they follow you? When can they tune in? All that fun stuff.
You can tune in to WDRBmedia.com. You can also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and tune into iHeartRadio. And you can also go to the App Store or your, what is the other?
Play Store.
Play Store. And you can download the TuneIn app and tune in and join us.
And it's Iron,
It's Iron Sharpens Iron.
day and time,
Sundays, every Sunday at 9 a.m.
Eastern Standard Time.
Eastern.
Sunday, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Iron Sharpens Iron. Excellent. Family, you heard it here. The truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth. We are revealing and uncovering and peeling back the layers of that onion. You're tuned in to the Profit and Growth Hour here on WDRB Media, the voice of the community.
Rich.
Excellent job.
Rich.
Very good.
Really rich. Y'all got stretched, didn't you?
Oh yeah, it was all right though.